So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're really glad you could make it, since this is going to be a great one. And just a quick note, this session is being recorded, so if you'd like to share it with a colleague afterwards, you will be able to do that. And one thing before we kick it off, please use the Q&A feature. You'll find by clicking at the grid of the 9 dots in the bottom corner of your Google Meet screen. A panel will open up where you can find both Q&A and the polls feature. So you can leave your questions for us. My name is Luca, and I'll be supporting this session from the background today. And first up, a little introduction about us. So at Sharpist, we strongly believe that everything's the power of true self-reflection. That's why we work with over 300 organizations like IKEA, Palfinger, and LVMH to develop their talent and leaders through coaching via digital platform. Now to our exciting topic. Today, chances are you're thinking about how to better support your people's growth, and you're curious about what modern development really looks like. We're living in a moment where AI is fundamentally changing how organizations grow and transform, and the opportunity to get development right from the very start has never been greater. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. I'm thrilled to pass the mic over to our speakers to walk us through this. Laura, Jan, over to you.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Luca. We'll see you again during the Q&A session. Looking very much forward to that. My name is Laura Heggen. I have a background in organizational consulting, and I'm a certified systemic coach myself. Sharpist, I'm working as an L&D consultant, and that means that on the daily I'm designing coaching journeys with our clients for their managers and employees. And we usually do that from shop floor to boardroom, so across all hierarchies, seniority levels, geographies even. And today I want to speak with Jan about how we blend in AI. So we are combining human and AI coaching nowadays to allow for a hybrid coaching journey, and how this can fuel transformation will be part of our discussion. Jan, you may introduce yourself.
Thank you, Laura, for passing it over. Hello again from my side. I am Jan. I'm an AI consultant at Sharpist. Actually, I've just recently joined the company. I do have an IT tech background. So for the last couple of years, 5 years more or less, I've been working with one of the largest German media houses, building mostly automation and AI products, one of which we actually scaled and took live for over 3,000 employees in the then German media business. And my role at Sharpist, I would say, is to bring in exactly that experience from the project to understand our clients' needs, their philosophy when it comes to AI products, and basically map that to the solutions we can offer them. That is our introduction. Now, if you, Luca, could maybe go to the next slide. We thought, I think Laura and I, we could both talk for 15 to 13 minutes straight, but this isn't about us, it's about you. So we would like to know, what would you want as a key takeaway from this session? And if you may want to use the poll function, Luca will activate it now. You can find it in the bottom right of your screen, and there should be a section called polls. And we have 4 options to pick from: practical insights on making transformation stick, real examples of AI-powered transformation, how to scale my transformation with AI, and whether AI coaching is right for my organization. And we will wait like maybe 30 seconds because I'm seeing answers are still coming in. Right now, it's tete-a-tete, so to say. So many people right now are clicking on real examples of AI-powered transformation. I'm very sure we will talk about that in the course of this webinar, and then also a couple of votes for practical insights on making transformation stick. Perfect. Laura will actually lead with that in the first section of this webinar. And let's see what else is coming in. Interesting. There's only one vote, Laura, for whether AI coaching is right for my organization.
Seems to be a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. Everybody knows it already.
Yeah. But you have to take that message also to C-level, right? To allocate the
true.
budget for it. Okay, let's talk about this more. Great stuff. So I think we can start, right? This is
We can go ahead.
yeah. Good. So we can go ahead, and maybe you want to change and go to the next slide. So yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the difficulties and actually, making transformation stick and be successful. I think everybody knows that, but it's more of a reminder also. Just mentioned how to get the budget, right? I think this may give you ideas how to build your talk finally as well. So one thing we see, and Lutz has mentioned our 300 plus clients, is that there is perceived change fatigue, right? So there are many initiatives, people get overwhelmed, and the worst thing that can happen, one of the so-called 3 silent killers, is that they disengage before the transformation process even starts, so that there's no openness for change, right? And this is actually, and I'm not going to talk about the solution too much, but working on the mindset, on openness, this is something where coaching, of course, can be very powerful. Then probably the most costly killer of transformation is the transfer gap. So what we hear a lot and see a lot as well is that there is training, there is investment into seminars, into courses, into LMSs, and then, well, nothing really changes, right? People have been in the classroom, they have thought through theoretically the concepts, but they don't know really how to translate now what they've learned into their daily, or after 1 or 2 weeks, it's just like not top of mind anymore. And this means that L&D budgets are then not effectively and efficiently used. So then what we also see, and probably also a lot of you feel this now, this is also an important topic in the AI transformation, is that there is often a lack of data. So it's very difficult for the L&D departments, for the HR departments to really prove their impact. So maybe people have even learned something in the classroom, or they have been working with coaches, but how can you make how can you make that tangible? How can you really build numbers around that to then protect your budget going forward, right? So this is one of the challenges we also see. And if you cannot protect your budget and you don't have buy-in from the board, then your life will be hard. Anything to add, John, from your perspective?
No, Laura. Thank you, but maybe just a little pause at this moment, because I just heard and saw some more people joining. So we are right in the middle of talking about the problem, and maybe to say that one more time, we will go through this webinar by talking about the problem, and then giving you our perspective of what a solution look like. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, let's see, the chat function is not part of the webinar function. So if you want to interact with us, we will try to have polls and ask you guys, people, if you really feel the urge to say something, there is the possibility to click on the I want to contribute button, and then we can see if we can unmute you and you can contribute to that. And with that, Laura, back to you.
Yeah, Lutz, I think we can now go to the next slide. Thank you very much. So we have been designing the slide to actually talk about where companies actually stand when it comes to like embedding transformation into their organization. And we have defined 4 stages here. So on stage 1, we say that, okay, companies are finding themselves somewhere where they say, okay, we're setting the direction in an, let's say, annual strategy meeting. We're defining our ambitions, but like the downside of this is, of course, they do it just annually, right? Once a year. So it's a plan on paper, but it's no real like shift in behavior that we perceive when we see organizations at this stage 1. Then where we've been taking things with Sharpist already, hopefully since 2018, is that we make human coaching a thing for organizations. So some companies have moved here. At this stage, it means that leaders are working with coaches regularly, maybe monthly. They're building capability, they're building accountability. And it's really a step forward, but it's not a lot of touch points, right? So once a month, maybe you've received coaching yourself and have been exposed to coaching. Yeah, it's gaps there. Then like what we can now do with AI coaching plus human coaching, when we combine those two, is actually really increase that number of touch points that you can have with your coach. And that by also the time your managers, leaders, employees spends on like really thinking through what the transformation means for them in their daily, right? We can, as with human coaches, we can brief the AI coach around what's important for the organization. And this is where real change then can start to happen, ideally even on a daily basis, and even like on your own schedule, right? If you have scheduled your sessions with your human coach, those should be regular sessions. But of course, if ever you need to talk to your coach, like not during work hours, over the weekend or whatnot, you can always access your AI coach. And the cool thing is that the AI coach can also know what has been discussed in your human coaching sessions. But that's, again, we're going to talk about this more. I think with that, the pain is made really clear, the pitfalls of transformation. And John, I give over, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Laura. Just out of curiosity, maybe let's try something. Could you assess for your organization, where are you at which stage of this journey? If you are at stage 1, could you use one of the reactions, whichever one you prefer, to just let us know you are at stage 1. Once a year coaching, strategy meeting, the direction is set, change hasn't started yet. Okay, it's a couple of things. Okay, interesting. What about stage 2, human coaching? Who is using either external or internal human coaching in his organization? Okay, couple more thumbs coming in. Thank you. Interesting. And now I'm really curious. Stage 3, who is using human and AI coaching within this organization? Yes, hello, Hendrik. Nice to see that hand. And
okay.
Now stage 4, who is using coaching in the flow of work, actionable outcomes, change becomes habit, transformation sticks? Yeah, interesting. I think that's quite similar to what we hear from our clients when we are talking to them, like the distribution of reactions. So now maybe I think we have spent some time explaining the pain or the problem, and I would like to focus for the next couple of minutes on how we think AI can be a solution for that problem and take coaching, I always like to say, to the next level. So Lutza, if you could skip to the next slide. Yes, exactly this one. Okay, honestly, you are looking at a Sharpist branded slide. And yes, we do have an AI coach. This is what you have signed up for today, but this is not a sales pitch. I will not sell you this product today. Rather, I would want to share with you my and our perspective on why AI has the potential to take coaching to a fundamentally different level. So maybe let me briefly say a couple of sentences about our philosophy at Sharpist, but then kind of reconnect it to my personal belief in AI and personal development and why it matters to you and your organization. So just briefly, at Sharpist, we have always believed in the value of human coaching for personal and career development, and that belief hasn't changed at all. But we have asked ourselves, and that is what you can see here on the slide, what would it be like if every employee could have a coach anywhere and anytime? Why did we ask that? I think because in most organizations that are talking today, coaching is still kind of an exclusive service. It reaches senior leaders, but not everyone who could benefit from it does it. And we think that's a problem. We know from our clients actually that the talent programs with less individualization than coaching have the potential to fail. That's because I think individuals do not see their needs represented in those programs. I was myself part of a program, and I always found like the coaching component of it. Fortunately, we had that the best part for me because it was individualized to my needs. So what happens next if people are not feeling represented? Well, HR business partners then kind of scramble to find individual solutions. They act reactively, case by case, and only if people are not happy with what they have, which is two things: expensive and also non-scalable, right? So then we had the question, like, how do we make coaching accessible to everyone to prevent that churn? And that's where we see the potential of AI to scale at a reasonable price and also with low effort. So this is briefly on the Sharpist philosophy. Now the next slide, Luca, if you could skip, is not like, it's maybe partly Sharpist perspective, but it's also my personal perspective on why coaching is coaching with AI is so powerful. And the first one is the 24/7 availability. This is one of the key points for me, because I think coaching is the most valuable when it's timely, right? So with AI, you can have a coaching session 30 minutes before a critical conversation, before an important talk to your employee or to your boss. Or you could use it as a debrief after this session. That is something I think no human coaching model can offer at scale and as quick as an AI coach can do that. This is one. And then the second one is continuous learning experience. Well, I think what keeps people engaged is not just availability, it's the relevance. And the AI coach knows your goals, remembers previous sessions, and it picks up exactly where you left off. So every interaction feels personal to you, not generics. And please compare it to a general purpose AI chatbot, where you have a non-personalized interface with a chat starting each time from scratch. Of course, you could intake other session context, but you have to copy and paste it over. You have to basically fine-tune the model again for your needs. And a gen purpose AI chatbot can just not deliver what the AI coach can deliver in terms of personalization. That is two. And three is actually, very interesting finding also from one recent study we are doing with a large university in Germany. And this is about safe space for reflection. I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, that human coaching doesn't offer a safe space. I do firmly believe it does. But sometimes you need a space where you can basically sort your thoughts freely before going deeper with a human coach. And the study results we have on our table now, it's drafts, but once it's done, we will of course share it with all of you. This suggests that is exactly where the future is. So it's neither AI nor human coaching, but the combination of both, right? Starting maybe with the AI coach, sorting your thoughts, have a summary, take that summary into the human coaching and focus on what really, really matters. Pause. This is the slide where I briefly wanted to talk about my personal belief in AI for taking coaching to the next level. Now, maybe let's try the reactions one more time. I'm not giving
really want feedback, right?
If you agree with what I just said, give a thumbs up. If you disagree, give a thumbs down. And also, I invite you to use the Q&A function. Oh, Oliver, very interesting. I'm inviting you to use the Q&A function to also type in your comment. It doesn't have to be a question necessarily, and we will for sure pick up on that later on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Skepticism.
Also good one.
Skepticism. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's continue so we get to the Q&A.
Yes, let's go. Okay, I just told you this is not a product demo, but I wanted to use a screenshot of our product or solution to show you one thing. And that's why there's a fundamental difference between the AI coach and a general purpose chatbot. You see in the top bar a personalization feature, avatar, voice, coaching style, all configurable to the learner's needs. So we don't offer a one-size-fits-all tool, right? It's a coach that feels like yours each time you enter the platform, compared to Copilot, ChatGPT, or else where you have to configure and where it's basically just a chatbot compared to the AI coach solution that we have. I would want to highlight one more feature on this slide because I might be a little bit biased, but I love to use it personally. It's voice input and voice output. So you can have a real coaching session in between meetings, between doors, so to say. just by speaking and getting voice output back. So hands off your keyboard or using your smartphone with the Sharpist web app, to just have a quick coaching conversation before something important starts. No interruptions mid-sentence and no waiting for a text response, just walking and preparing for the meeting, which happens in quite a short time. And then there's a third thing I want to highlight on this slide, and this is quick start suggestions. And this is where I think personalization really hits when it comes to AI coaching. So the AI coach pulls context from your previous sessions and from their outcomes. So you don't need to think about how to prompt for the next sessions. The AI coach already knows where you left and where you can pick it up again. I personally also use prompts, and Laura, I would like to ask you, maybe also from your client experience, what are typical prompts to start a conversation? What are typical topics or scenarios where our clients are using the AI coach for?
Yeah, I think, what's important, and probably people on the call are aware, is like, how do we do the onboarding, right? Like, how do we actually make managers, employees familiar with our coach, and how do we like really make them feel engaged? So what we do is during onboarding, we sometimes let groups of managers or groups of employees brainstorm what could be good questions. And from this, I remember, in regards to transformation, I remember things like from a frontline manager, like, okay, I know the why behind this transformation. I do believe in it. But like, how do I translate that into clear direction for my team, for example? And he would then be able to work with his AI coach on this topic and just dive deeper into it and make it relevant to him. Or there can be some questions around motivation of the team. Say like, we are halfway through it. Now how can I re-energize my team? Can we discuss that? Like, not to let the momentum slip right now. And I think this is when it's super helpful to have the coach like in your pocket when you need it and when you find the time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's a broad range of use cases. And I mean, we have a couple of coaches today in the session. I think you guys would agree, like a human coach, it's just, you can discuss basically anything when it comes to the need of feedback or self-reflection. Okay, Luza, if you could skip to the next slide, please. Just one more time. And I'm not talking about the Sharpist AI coach. I'm talking about differentiating an AI coach from a gen-purpose chatbot, because I really think like this is always one of the first questions when we are talking to customers, to clients, why shouldn't we just build this with Copilot? And I really think you will not be able to achieve the same quality based on 3 pillars that you can see on the side. You don't have to read through it. I will just, column by column say a couple of sentences about it. So the first pillar would be quality. Right? So generic chatbots are very solution oriented. Think about using Copilot, LangDoc, whatever chatbot you have in your organization. Ask a question and you get this long of an answer, which is solution oriented back, which is great for a productivity tool, I would say, but it's the opposite of good coaching, right? Coaching sometimes is painful because you say something and what you get back is a question, but this is what coaching is about. And this is exactly what our AI coach is doing. So in the background, when you as a learner or your learners within your organization ask a question, the answer by our AI coach will be validated by a sub-agent, which checks the compatibility of this answer against the framework of the International Coaching Federation. And this is why you will not get a solution back, but rather a question that leads you towards a solution. This is part 1, quality. And then part 2, I think I renamed it. It was maintenance before. I now named it continuous development. I want to share my personal story, right? So I said with my last employer, I built AI tools myself and products myself, and we scaled it and rolled it out to 3,000 customers or 3,000 employees internally. And I think my biggest learning from that is there's a big difference between building a product and then taking it live and maintaining it. And especially if you are building something like this internally, you will be able to build it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But I do not think that you will be able to maintain it in a way an external service provider like Sharpist can do it. We are continuously evaluating model quality. We are continuously validating synthetic chats to optimize the quality of our product. And we are continuously innovating based on the feedback of over 300 corporates in Germany, Swiss, Austria, UK, and other countries, you name it. This is the second pillar, continuous development or maintenance, how you might call it. And the third one, and this is also a big one, I think, is safety and trust. Now, we all know that coaching is a sensitive topic, right? And I feel like people share things with their coach they wouldn't share with their manager, their HR team, or sometimes even their closest colleagues. And when you build a product like this internally, the first question that will arise is our data safe from the HR department or from other stakeholders within the company? And there we have a nice positioning as an external service provider, because we can say we are GDPR compliant, we isolate our data, and we are basically an external stakeholder that doesn't have any interest in content data. This is the third pillar. Okay, pause again. I try one more time. If this resonates with you, give a thumbs up. If you think, no, we can build this internally, give a thumbs down. I would like to see that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe I see thumbs up. Yeah, take a screenshot here. This is a very good talk track again internally. I mean, I'm working with the departments, try to position our AI coach, and this is very helpful for people to understand. Thank you, John, for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think I have to speed up a little bit if I'm looking at time. Okay. So last one, but I'm not gonna double speed here. So yeah, let me just briefly talk about one more thing. So we have talked about the problem, we've talked about the solution, but here's one question every CHRO will ask. Maybe some of you are a CHRO, you're working together with one. How do I know it's working? Also sharing from my personal experience again, I think for a long time when it came to AI tools or to software in general, the metrics were, is it used? But this isn't the metric you are looking for, right? So from day one, Sharpist has given you guys, HR people, real-time data, engagement rating, session frequency, progress against the goals you have set before. So impact has really always been the measurable for us. But the honest truth is, like, metadata only tells you so much. It's quite reactive, and we are struggling with that. And we think with generative AI, we can go from being reactive to being predictive, right? We can identify patterns across teams, departments, and geographies. So by pseudonymizing the contents of the session, we can then use it to build a dashboard that talks to you. What's going on in my organization right now? What's the hottest topics that are discussed? And this is a perfect opportunity to use data from coaching to shape strategies, right? To be transparent, this dashboard is in development. It doesn't exist right now, but what we are always saying when we're talking to clients is it's a perfect opportunity right now to work with us and shape it exactly the way you want it to have. And with that, I think we have problem, solution, and measurements covered. And Laura, at this point, I would hand over to you.
Yeah, now I wrap it up. Lutza, I know it's not a sales pitch, but of course I would be more than happy to speak to people afterwards. So I just want to highlight like what makes our Sharpist coaching stand alone, right? And something John has not mentioned, we are providing different coaching styles. You see that on the left-hand side. John has been talking about GDPR compliance and the price grade privacy. So that's very important, of course, for us being a coaching provider. Then we have this very cool feature of session summaries plus action items. We also internally really love it because you get actionable items out of your sessions that you can then check off and make sure that what you've been working on really sticks. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you have this very much tailored to your own needs journey instead of, you know, the classroom with 10 other people, John's story, like something that was just not customized to his needs. We definitely provide that very individualized journey. And we are proud to have a very high 5-star rating here for 4.5 out of 5 stars. And we know that coaching is not always, enjoyable. So maybe we don't even aim at the 5 out of 5. So with that said, if we go to the next slide, already, or do we do the Q&A first? I don't even know, Luca. You tell me, maybe you want to come back. But what we can definitely do for you is we're happy to jump on a conversation. If you scan the QR code here with your phone, you can book a meeting with us, and it will be either John or myself or someone else from our team, really talking to you about whether hybrid coaching, meaning like human plus AI coaching, could be a thing for your organization. We do offer workshops, even for free, where we work with you on like what would be the goals of such an initiative. What's the objective? How could we measure this? We've been talking about a couple of KPIs. And we want to make sure that, there's activation, there's engagement, and there's real behavioral change. So this is how we design our programs and blend in AI for you. And this, of course, helps AI adoption across the organization. And with that said, I hand it over to you, Luca.
Thank you. So then you can see like some actions that you can actually take. And after the Q&A, I'm going to bring back the slides, so you can maybe take a screenshot or whatever you need. So I think let's get into the Q&A, because we have like some really, really interesting questions for you guys.
Cool.
The first question is from Monique, and she's asking, like, you promote AI coaching and the 24/7 availability. Where do you see the downside and the danger of that? What happens to other human coaches out there if AI coaches take over?
So, I mean, I'm a certified coach myself, right? I think at Sharpist, we definitely believe in the value of human coaching. And there's just some things that AI cannot replace. And for me, the way I put it is that moment of presence, right? The AI can never be with you, look at a problem with you together. So for us, I think it's more about the strategic sessions, preparing for your human session, getting more out of it, or, just drop something there that you might not want to throw at a human, like your thoughts all over the place. That's my take. John, what else?
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking about, we were talking a lot about AI today, but just for the people to understand who didn't have a look at the Sharpist solutions. So what really excels at Sharpist is hybrid coaching, we call it. And that is the combination of human and AI coaching. So Monique, to address you directly, what we mostly advise our clients for is to go for having human coaching sessions and using the things from the human coaching sessions, for example, the transcript, to then have AI coaching sessions in between. So we are strongly advising on also having human coaching included into their coaching offering. So I think Laura just said it perfectly. We still do believe in the value of human coaching. We just think together with AI, coaching can reach the next level.
Thank you for the answer.
Thanks.
Also liked it.
Seems to be happy.
So then, like, the next question is from Juliana. Based on your experiences, are employees enabled enough to use AI for reflection? Or how do you make sure that self-reflection is trained before using the AI coach?
You want to go, Laura?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can also.
Yeah, I mean, I can start, you can add maybe. So I think what we see is that sometimes, like if we onboard employees or managers, it's like they're kind of confused by what the AI coach does, right? Because it behaves totally different from any other like co-pilot, let's say. And it really encouraged self-reflection, because like a coach, it will, ask you questions, invite you to reflect, go deeper with you. So it never gives you like a flower bouquet of options and, examples and what things you could do, ideas, but it's really guiding you and it's encouraging self-reflection. So I think we do a proper onboarding, plus we manage expectations, and plus the AI coach is doing that job.
Yeah. And maybe one thing to add from my side, Laura, you mentioned it on the last slide, right? onboarding is one thing. Having a relationship manager is the second thing. So a person that continuously checks adoption and talks to you about how to even better use the AI coach. But I firmly believe that if we don't have some kind of a kickoff event, that's one, and two, internal champions within your organizations that really push the usage of the AI coach, talk to people about how to use it. That is the key. And we are very happy, and this is why we actually do quite extensive workshops in the beginning before even selling the product to anyone, to make sure that we have this within your organization. And if we don't have it, we are happy to formulate a strategy for you on how we can do it together. This would be what I wanted to add on that.
Yeah, and I really want to invite people to reach out, and as I said, we are offering these workshops for free because we believe in the relationships that we are building are long lasting, and we really want to make sure that there's a good fit, right? I think every organization benefits from our format because we've done that so many times already. That's a good exercise to do, and we are happy to even come on site. We do sell digital coaching plus AI coaching, but on a program management level, we also like in-person situations. So,
hey, the next question is from Henrik. John, Laura, if I was a customer in Wave of coaching and AI adoption, I would love to know how to get started, who is the best target group, and which result, quality and quantity, right? Can I expect and when?
Mm-hmm. Or you want to go out, or shall I start?
You can start.
Yeah, well, basically, I think part of the question was just answered, right? Not to repeat too much of it, but I think we do need an adoption plan, and we do need to plan that in advance, right? And then in terms of the metrics, so again, one part of the workshops in the beginning is the adoption plan. The other one is to set clear, measurable goals, and we have to shift from product is being used to product changes behavior, right? And there's a couple of approaches on how to do that. A simple one would be a pre and post survey, where we interview people in the beginning before they use AI coaching, and then afterwards to compare. Another one would be A/B groups. So one group of leadership people using the product, the other one not using the product. And then now, Henrik, I think we might disagree on the last part of my answer, but I personally would start with tech-savvy people. Why is that? Because I think for AI holds true what is also true for new software, and we introduce a lot of new software at my last employer. There's a learning curve. You will get frustrated in the beginning. And I'm fearing that when we are starting with a group of non-tech savvy people, we will lose people in the beginning. So either we start with people that have been in contact with other AI tools in the past, or the other way around is we start with a group of people that is not tech savvy, but then have a very, very strong champion concept. So a person within the organization, this might be someone from the HR department, that then supports the adoption of the product.
Mm-hmm. It can also be a brand new target group that has not received coaching before. So this is the shop floor example, right? In many organizations, coaching is exclusive to top management, unfortunately, of course, from our perspective. So think about people that usually would not be considered for coaching. They can maybe now benefit, and we can, create a cool journey, a cool hybrid journey for them.
This is also a really good one, because this is a target group which is often overlooked, I would say, in terms of personal development topics. And with them, it's just really important to have a very good kickoff and to drive a continuous journey. But if we plan that, we can scale, right?
Yeah.
Just to give you one example, we are with another client currently planning a huge rollout. And there, what we start with is actually not only a onboarding, but like an onboarding day where people get introduced into the product, and then afterwards foster the adoption by a continuous championing model, right?
And if you can get C-level support for that, that's super cool, right? Just like an opening remark, and just make sure that, or make clear that this initiative is something that's really important.
Hey, thank you so much. And then we have a question from Jana. You said that the AI coach asks questions and doesn't just offer solutions. What if users lack knowledge or skills? Can it also train methods?
John?
Yeah. I mean, yes, you can use specific prompts to also do that, but I'm going to be very honest. Like I could go for a sales pitch and just say yes, but the AI coach is an AI coach, right? So our sub agents are doing exactly that. If you are going too far away from coaching topics, it will lead you right back into coaching topics.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do is, and that's always what we suggest to our clients, is to upload organizational context. That might be a PDF document explaining on how to talk to a coach. With this piece of context, the AI coach can then even better react to people that are a little bit uncertain, or a little bit unsure about what to ask the AI coach. So the answer is yes. And train methods.
Yes, and yeah. And it's like, for example, let's say you have a human coaching session and your coach wants you to think about the Eisenhower matrix with regards to your schedule. Of course, the AI coach can help you think that through, right? So it has methodological knowledge. And as John said, you can upload things. So our CEO, for example, he has a favorite book and he would like the coach refer to that framework. So that's possible. And we can discuss that and see what's feasible.
Yeah. Maybe one more thing to add, even though I'm seeing we are running out of time, right? Just today in the morning, I discussed with a client that wants to use the AI coach for simulating tough conversations with employees. That's a perfect use case where we together sit in a workshop and develop a framework, which is then uploaded as a Word document, PDF document, or whatever, which basically tells the AI coach how to guide a person through a simulation of a tough conversation.
Thank you so much for your answers. I think there is one more really interesting question in the Q&A that I would like to ask. So I hope everyone has 2 more minutes. So this is coming from an anonymous person, but how do you make sure people actually use the AI coach and not let it sit just like other tools might?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Laura?
So we talked about onboarding activation, right? So we make this a real fun event. If we get C-level sponsorship, even better. So make sure your stakeholders are supporting the initiative, and this will drive activation. So then we monitor closely what's happening, the engagement with the platform. And we have things built into the product, like nudges, for example, there are emails going out, of course. But I think what's really helpful is that the product itself is it's sticky, all right? So once you start using it and you feel how much customized it is to your needs, I think you will come back. That's at least what we see in the numbers. So John, maybe you want to speak more about it from a product perspective.
No, I think, yeah, we mentioned the most important aspects of this a couple of times in the last question. So maybe we can even have a look at the last question, Lutza. If there is a last question, I understood there's one more.
I think there is.
That was the question, I think.
That was the last question.
Yeah, there is a few, one more. It is where are the servers located? Are they located in the EU?
Yes.
Yeah. We are fully GDPR compliant.
We
and
have
also, sorry, no.
ISO certified, right? That's what you wanted to say? You go ahead.
Yeah. I think so. We have a policy called zero model training. So what we have an isolated instance of the large language model we are using, and it's there is no way that the contents of your learners will be used for model training. Not for the LLM provider, certainly also not for Sharpist.
And there is 2 comments from Oliver, which is I feel that AI is consultant or trainer, but not a coach. Normally, the user expects an answer from the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then one more, I feel that the human interaction with peers will be reduced by introducing AI in companies. It is easier to prompt than starting a conversation with colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are his takes on the
Yeah,
thing.
because he gave a thumb down actually afterwards. I mean, Oliver, like very happy to have a either virtual or in-person coffee to discuss this. I would disagree. Because I think like in many use cases I saw with my last employer and also in the talks with Sharpist, AI is the conversation starter. It helps you to sort your thoughts. But then afterwards, human conversation is like, it's still as important, if not even more important in the age of AI.
And becomes more meaningful, hopefully.
I think it's like a great note to actually like finish today's session. So thank you so much, Laura and Jan, for walking us through this. I put up again the slides so everybody can like take a screenshot or to scan the QR code. And thank you all for joining and for your great questions throughout. And if anything resonated with you today and you'd like to explore what this could look like for your organization, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to continue, especially I think Laura and John would love to continue this conversation. And again, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of the day. And we hope to speak with you soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao.